So I guess we can start. And of course, this session I'm super looking forward to it as well. Kola Oshalusi is a creative photographer with an eye for details and documenting moments. He's based in Lagos, Nigeria. He's currently the director of creative at Insigna Media, a leading photography and content creation company positioned to add value and build Africa's largest content creation company. As the convener of the Business of Photography Conference, West Africa's largest photography conference, his drive for human capital development is evident in his continuous provision of educational and knowledge-sharing opportunities for creatives. Kola Oshalusi his widely published books or works include commissions across 3 continents and spans across events, portraits, fashion, lifestyle, and advertising photography. I mean, I don't even think he needs too much of an introduction because we know him, we know the hat, we know his work, and we're so excited to learn from him. And the idea of the workshop is that it's very hands-on, it's very practical. So ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to put your hands together as we commence our first workshop with Kola Oshalusi.
So that was a sign that it's going to be a very interesting class, just so you know. The introduction has been done already, so there's nothing else for me to say introducing myself, but I'll try and make this as interactive as possible. One of the things I want us to be able to achieve today is, beyond the conversation, is I also want us to understand that storytelling can be as spontaneous as possible and can be told with literally almost anything. I'm a photographer. I've been doing this for quite a while, just like they read in my bio. But one of the things that has helped me in my journey is creating an identity. Now, identity, like branding, the experts have sort of confused us over the years, thinking creating a brand or an identity is like a one-day thing. But alas, over time we found out that brand creation or identity creation is a journey on its own. And brands have the potential to continually evolve as the audience keeps changing. Because with brands, with business, with individuals, there's always the need to evolve, there's always the need to change. The branding idea and strategy that worked 20 years ago, literally in most cases now, would not make the same impact it was making those years. So I came up with this idea a few years ago myself to redefine how I share my own story. So the bulk of what I'll be sharing today will come from my own story of building my brand and how we can connect it to products, services, and whatever you do to actually reach your target audience. So the theme for the conversation says photography as a branding tool, optimizing visual story, and brand communication. And I think the most powerful thing I want us to take away from here is visual storytelling. As a visual storyteller myself, every available opportunity is a platform for me to share what's on my mind. Now, for most of us who are product designers, creatives, leather product makers, the possibility of us getting sucked in production and not telling the story of our product is very high. People have assumed over time that people actually buy products. The reality is people don't buy products. The initial stage they will buy the product, but over time they buy brand, they buy stories, they buy connection with those products. If I say Coca-Cola now, the first thing that comes to mind is that drink that cola drink, that has like a signature as its name, that is fulfilling and satisfying, even though it might not be. That they've told us that once we take it and we are tired, it gives us energy. And then we believe that once it's red and it's round and the bottle is like that, then it is Coca-Cola. Now, all those things I've mentioned, plus the fact that over the years, they've continually imprinted this thing in our minds subconsciously, is why we prefer Coca-Cola over other cola, even if those colas might be better than Coca-Cola, right? And then when we see blue with a tint of red, and we call it cola, another name comes to mind. When we see simplicity in the use of phone, and series 1 to series 15, they only change the charger or something, we already know what brand we're talking about. But there's something about that brand, is the way they keep telling the story, the way they keep connecting all their products over time, and relating the story of one product to another, makes us feel that they are the best brand. In fact, once you start with them, they become like opium. You literally get stuck. That's why you see them queue at the beginning of every season for 2 days and add more money to the old money to buy this product. But whether we like it or not, it's a brand that people believe so much in that they fight for. Another classic example is the shoe brand Nike. Nike story, I remember the first time I read the book by the founder of Nike. And I think for me, it wasn't just the story of how he built the brand. It's a story of how he used the brand to inspire people who have gone ahead to continually build that brand for him. And that's the power of storytelling. There is no better time to use storytelling than now, where social media has become a tool for talking about our everyday life. In fact, everything is a story now. Every part of those apps, you'll find yourself fitting into one of the apps. If you're not telling reels and sharing videos, they'll put it as story, even if it's not your story, a story that you're interested in, go and tell other people that it's a story, and then you have the post. And then when they realize that one post is not enough, they gave you 5, later they moved it to 10. Then they realize that you might still want to remove some along the line. When you change your mind, they allowed you to delete. So there's so much opportunity within the versatility of what those apps have created over time for us to tell, our brand stories. So I'm going to run through a little presentation I created for a few minutes. And then after that, I want to try something a bit practical before we go into our Q&A. Sorry, can I have the slide, please? Optimizing Visual Stories and Telling Brand Stories by Kola Oshalusi. Remember that one? Okay. So I said facts. Photography is more than just capturing an image. It's about creating a visual identity that resonates with your audience and tells your brand story. So that's one thing you need to understand when you're working with photography. It's not about taking pictures. It's about telling a visual story. So every time you think of using photography as a tool to talk about your brand, what should come to mind is, what story am I going to tell? The difference a lot of time between a picture and a great photograph is the story behind it. A few years ago, there was this powerful image by this South African journalist, photojournalist, that ended up committing suicide. His name's Steven or something. That showed a picture of a girl and a vulture. irrespective of what happened to the photographer later, the depression he went through, there was something that that image did to the whole world. It changed the whole trajectory of that war. Totally. The nonchalant attitude of the whole world towards that war that was going on in that country changed immediately. For once, whatever anger was replaced by humanity. And that's the power of storytelling. They asked the photographer much later how he felt. He literally sort of celebrated it. But when he sat down and looked at that picture himself, he realized that the story he told was of a life that he could have saved. Yes, we enjoy his story, but it actually resonated onto him, the photographer himself, over time. So photography is not just about taking those pictures, but it's about telling visual brand stories. So I said the role of photography in branding. Visual identity. Photography creates cohesive visual identity. Now, cohesion is very important in telling your brand story. Now, what are cohesion? Cohesion has to do with, how the whole of your story ties together. From your colors to your font style in building your brand, to even how you grade those colors. For those of us who use all the apps we use, VSOSC, whatever app you use, to every of those things connects to your brand. People who see your product, people who want to connect to your product, people you want to share that story with, must be able to connect with it all round. It must show cohesiveness. Now, if you look at this image I use, trying to relate the word of cohesiveness, you could see the relationship between the white, the blue, and the different shades of green. When you look at that picture, it forces you to stop. You want to ask, what's this about? Then you look through the colors. You see how the white connects to the whites, the blue in relation to the white, and then the green. And then you see those two different shades of green. It stops you and you ask questions. Cohesion is very, very important, because when people listen, brand itself, brand communication is you communicating. So when people listen, when people hear, when people see, there must be something that connects. They must be able to say, okay, exactly what we said about Coca-Cola. How does it connect? Beyond the fact that it's a satisfying drink, what else is there that I can hold on to that can make me trust this brand? Now, I said it also emphasizes brand aesthetics and visually aligning brand values. You must align your brand value. Thank you. Okay, so another important thing is the emotional connection. Powerful images must evoke emotion and build a connection with your audience. For every time you create, there must be a connection between that image and your audience. Your audience must be able to see what you're trying to tell them. If it doesn't provoke emotion, probability that people will relate, people will stay, is almost zero. Storytelling is not just you doing your pictures, but you also be able to take people through your whole journey. What is it that's in your brand that you want people to see? Is it the details of how you trying to use the right word? The details of your sewing the leather. Is that the right word for yeah? Is it the details you want people to see? The process. The process is also very important. You need to carry people through the journey of your process. I was shooting a project for a brand a few weeks ago, and wanted to define that brand. And a couple of things we looked at was, who was this brand trying to sell to? The brand is a local brand trying to sell to a global audience. Their base products or their base fabric is their direct fabric. And when she came and we started talking, the first thing she said is, I want to be like Dolce. I want to be like a Ralph Lauren. She said all those beautiful things. And then I asked this question. Who are the people you want to buy your product? She mentioned. And then I said, for all these brands, each of these brands you've mentioned, is there anything specific about this brand that you can actually itemize? And she did itemize it. But there was one thing that resonated in all what she said, is that there's a story behind each of the brand. So I questioned, if you want to be like them, what's your brand story? So we went to Abeokuta to create this, and we had a fantastic time within the Adire community producing. But by the time we're done, there were 2-3 things that we came up with. Number one was the fact that our brand wasn't just selling clothes. Our brand was creating employment. Our brand was putting money and power in the hands of those local communities. Our brand was exporting brand Nigeria itself. And the process to producing each of the brand, each of the fabric, was so intense, from them getting the color, the dye, and everything, that by the time we put this story together and we sent to our international stores, literally they were so amazed that they're like, you know what, how come you've never told us this part of your story before? So you need to bring all of those things into your conversation visually, from pictures to videos and whatever you're going to use. Your story is very valid. You stay in Ikorodu, tell them the story of Ikorodu. How does your brand move from Ikorodu to a global audience? You grow up in a riverine area and you use whatever products within that space. Tell that story. The reality is the world is looking for stories to buy into. What has grown the Afrobeat industry, like we all see, is nothing different in the music. It's the identity that they started selling. The moment everybody found something different. I mean, you can't sing hip hop. And which was the biggest challenge of that industry? They were saying hip hop and all that. You can't sing hip hop like those who started hip hop. It's their language, it's the way they live. What they're selling to you is who they are. Then till that industry changed, things started happening. Everybody now vibes to a Wizkid, to a Davido. Davido's wedding few days ago was something else. I was talking to a friend who said, I feel so angry. I'm here in, I think, Rwanda or Uganda. And she just came in and someone asked her, was she at Davido's wedding? And I said, no. He said, why? So she felt like the person was accusing her. And she's like, why must I be at Davido's wedding? And that's how powerful it is. That's how powerful the culture is. Just by telling stories. So every time they've told stories, look at the music videos. What has happened with the music videos now? There was a time when music videos were shot in South Africa. Everywhere you see South Africa. The model is South Africa. Everywhere is South Africa. Then they're shooting in London. Now what do you see with the videos? You see local communities. People want to see it. And then you have people call you. Are you from Nigeria? Where? Banana Highland? No. But that's the beauty and the power of storytelling. Using what you have. Using your environment. Using your community. What we need to understand is the world is looking for fresh stories. For them to connect, it's not just your products. It's not just your shoes. Literally everybody everywhere makes fantastic shoes. You need to understand that. They make fantastic leather. They make fantastic products. But there's something they don't make. They don't make your story. And that's that unique selling point that you have because of where you're from. That identity that someone in America does not have. That the guy in the United Kingdom you're trying to sell to does not have. The identity. The Lagos. The whatever. Either Makoko, the Lekki, the Ikoyis, whatever you think you have is what you need to sell to them. Now, why do we even use images and visuals beyond text? It's the power of how much it can connect. People resonate easier to images, to visuals, than text. There's a study that says images get a 650% more engagement than text. Which is why when we tell stories of the Civil War on text, people don't feel it. But when they see images of what had happened that time, we start telling, in fact, we go from whosoever is guilty to why did you allow this kind of genocide? And that's the power of visuals. Utilize it. So, okay, so I said the key elements of impactful images. So number one is consistency. Your style must be consistent, your color palette must be consistent, and the tone in all your photos must be consistent. So if your brand definition is purple, try and play with it as much as possible. Play with different tones and different palettes that connects to it. Let people see you in that space. If I talk of Femi handbags, there's something unique about Femi handbags. I think they're the most colorful bags in the world. Not anything. You see, that's it. They're the most colorful bags in the world. There is nowhere you see a Femi handbag except you see an imitation. You understand? But the original Femi handbags is the color. The colors are amazing. I don't know if you connect to what I'm saying. You must find that thing that works with you. And it has to be consistent. I think my first interaction with the brand was almost 9-10 years ago. But there's something that I've seen. Go and look at the collection from 10 years ago and now. The colors are there. You will see it. You see from 10 years ago, you see from now. It looks more beautiful. It looks more fancy. It looks everything. And the designs have changed. But there's consistency in how they play with colors. You must find that identity. People must be able to look at your product and say, you know what? This person, this product, this is what it's all about. Yours might not be color. Yours might be your craftsmanship. Yours might be your style. It might be any of those things. You might even start wearing a hat like I do. But be consistent about wearing the hat. Wear it in different colors. Paint different designs on it. But let people know you with that. And you have to be intentional about it. If I call Wole Soyinka, the picture that comes to all our mind is that man with that big hair. White, gray. Like since I was born, the hair has been gray. I don't know how old that man is. Since I was born, the hair has been gray. And it's been like that Afro kind of style. You should be able to build that as well into your brand. You don't go your brand today, you have colorful products. And then the next thing you have like mute colors. Everything. Look, it's confusing. So you need to be able to choose between trend and brand building. Within the trend, you might find something that, resonates at that time. The next generation is. But you must be able to infuse that's your brand identity into that new trend. If you don't, you get lost. So I set an example of Apple's minimalist and clean photography style. Go on their page. Sometimes I think Apple is one arrogant brand. When other brands are using influencer, doing all, Apple will never use you. It's you that will now be the influence. They go and take a picture of you people lining up. Bye. They will show it. And it's because over time, they've been able to create that. And they are minimalistic in their approach. They don't boggle too many things. When the craze was the number of SIMs in phone, Apple never did. In fact, there were phones that had like DVD, car stereo, 4 SIM cards and everything in it. No, they never did. Where are those devices now? Gone. But Apple has stayed minimalist. It's only charger they change. Just change charging ports. And what? What else? And camera. They will just tell you. And they will just change it. But it remains the same. You see it, the first thing that comes to mind when you see an Apple product from iPhone 1 to iPhone, where are they now? 20 what now? 33, 58, 15. They might change the size, but the shape and everything remains the same. And that's what you need to learn about your brand as well. So I said authenticity. When you're telling your story, like I said, try to tell authentic stories. Try to use authentic visuals. It's great to get inspiration from other people, but adapt that inspiration to yourself. Don't try and create images with what you cannot find. Everything around you can be used to create stories. Every single thing. From the leaf in front of your house, the color of that leaf. There's some flowers that are unique to Africa. You can't find it anywhere. There's some flowers that are unique to Nigeria. You can't find it anywhere. Use it. Find things that connects to you. Creating images doesn't have to be expensive. I mean, I want you to shoot the most expensive campaign with me so that I can make money. But the reality is, you can use whatever you have to create amazing stories. You see that the way your studio looks, that you work, there's a story there. You can create something from it. So another thing is storytelling itself. Use photography to tell compelling brand stories. I've talked about Apple and all that. Another beautiful brand that I've followed in years, and I've not seen anyone that can copy that brand, is Airbnb. People have tried. I've seen them do one or two few campaigns, but the bulk of materials are people generated. They are relatable. Everything they use are relatable. You see yourself in it. That lady, in that bathtub somewhere, screaming, "Oh, I went on vacation here and I'm living in the mountain." That's what they'll use. So automatically, they don't do anything that looks too superficial, too beautiful, no. They want it to be relatable. That's what you should do with your brand. Make your brand relatable. Let people see themselves in it. Use fantastic, beautiful looking images. Models. But please, use models that some people can relate with. You sell shoes for big sizes. You're using a slim model that is like this, with shoe size 30 whatever or 20 whatever. Your clients will see themselves in it. There's no way they will see themselves in it. So you must understand that when you're trying to target a particular set of people, find what they want. You do shoe sizes for big people, find a big person to wear. You do for small size people, find it to wear. Let people see. Make it relatable. Let them see themselves in your product. So I say practical tips. First is understand your brand. So start with clear understanding of your brand's vision, your brand's mission, your brand value, and your target audience. I was talking about the shoot I went to do in Abeokuta. She's been running that brand for years. But I complain, she has amazing images over the years. But she hasn't connected with the people she wanted to connect with. Simply because she doesn't understand our brand. For your brand to match up with international brands anywhere, there must be a story behind it. And that's what we came back to after like 8-9 years that you've had the brand. We found a brand story. So you must be unique to yourself. Have a clear understanding of your mission. Who do you want to satisfy? What clientele do you want to satisfy? You want to focus on an industry. What industry? What do you have that industry needs that will make you thrive within that industry? That's what you should look for. You want to focus on shoes for little kids. Fantastic. What kind of shoes do little kids wear? What do they prioritize? Comfort or flashiness with little kids? Identify it. and then connect that to the mission of your brand. Your brand mission is very important. A lot of us, we never get to understand that vision and mission. They say, what's your brand vision and mission story and all of that? People don't understand it. You must have it. Because in the midst of it all, that's what continues to drive you forward. And no matter how you change, no matter how you evolve over the years, the mission is what keeps you consistent over years. I like talking about our own mission statement. You know, when we started a few years ago, we said we'll use the latest technology to deliver images as fast as possible. It's funny, after all these years, our unique selling point is the ability to deliver images in near real time. Every trend of technology is what we've latched on because we said we want to deliver in near real time. So when technology came, we adopted it. Every new technology, every latest technology, we adopt it because we said our mission is to deliver images in near real time. And that's what we've latched on. So the question is, what's the mission of your brand? Who do you want to satisfy? Why are you even in business? You must be able to identify that. Now, your mood board is not just for every single shoot. No. Your mood board is how the mood of the brand will be over time. It can evolve, but it never changes. It will evolve, but it never changes. This is the mood for my brand. My brand is a happy brand. I know of one designer brand. What's this lady's name? She's Ghanaian. They've got two partners. They're in New York. I keep forgetting her name. She comes to live. Sorry, what's some Studio 189? Yes. They tell you their brand is a happy brand. And you see that in every single thing they do. In fact, they were doing a documentary of their brand and all that in Ghana. You understand? And the local communities. And all you see on the faces of the kids and the women is happiness. Like they're literally happy doing what they're doing. When you see the brand on the runway, everybody's excited. Their models don't walk straight. Their models dance on the runway. Their fabrics are happy fabrics. Their designs are happy designs. They're flowy everywhere. So you move, you're like this, you're dancing, and that's it. I've known them for quite a while now, but they've continued to evolve like that. Happiness. It's a word we use every day. But imagine someone turning their whole brand into that word. And you can pick any word and use yourself. Yours can be whatever. A lot of people use it these days, luxury. But that word is so bastardized, I don't even understand what it is anymore. Every house in Lekki is luxury apartment. In Lekki, luxury apartment. Once they put one wall to the other one like this, and they put one shine, it's luxury apartment. You understand? So you need to understand what it stands for. If you want to pick that word, I said ours is timely delivery. And that's what we've driven on. So what's yours? When you're defining your brand, pick that word. Turn that word into your brand. Build your mood board on it and grow with it. It will evolve, trust me. As you grow, new things come to mind. But once you have that, it's easy for you to move across that. So the next I say, planning your shoot. Everything must be intentional. Brand building, storytelling is intentional. Everyone you see succeed. It's not by chance. No one succeeds by chance. You can have a spark by chance, but you cannot stay sustaining that by chance. In fact, you can get to the top. Getting to the top, people say it's not a mistake. Someone can just like you now and say, you know what, we need someone to be the commissioner or the minister. They just bring you, there's some guy we trust. In fact, he's the guy. They take you to the top. But that cannot hold you at the top. So you must plan. Planning is key. For every image you want to churn out, you must have a plan. Pre-plan it. Have the idea. Write it down. It comes in your dream. Wake up, write it. So when you're even sharing with, you don't have to be the one creating it. When you're sharing with a person that is going to create, have a plan. So I said, pre-plan your shoot. Decide on every of those things. Be very strategic about it. Extremely intentional. Because don't forget, you've created the mood board already. You've defined your mission statement. Every other thing must follow through with it. You don't say you're trying to build luxury brand like people say. And then you are building luxury brand in Makoko. How? Are you playing? In fact, nobody will want to see your brand. You're building a premium brand. And then you are in one place or your products, the product that you put out, even in your photography edit, you are seeing thread. You are seeing, the sewing is not neat. And you're saying your brand is premium. People will look at you like this. What's wrong with this one? You are joking. So you must be very, very intentional about it. So, tips for working photographers and creative team to achieve your vision. Always give them tips. It's good to say you have a fantastic photographer. That's one thing that works for me. I get my clients involved in my production. It's a must. I must have your opinion. I have a lot of people say, "Oh no, Kola, just create now. I saw that your picture there." No, I'm like, See, that picture was for that person. Tell me about it. What do you want? What do you want to see? When we're done with these images, how would you want it to look? Who are the people we're going? You have to give me something. I can be creative, but my creative understanding might not be in the same direction with yours. It might be that the day you are coming, I'm just looking for money, and your money looks good. And you want me to create. I will create what makes me feel whatever mood. In fact, it depends on the side of bed I wake up every day. That's what defines what I create. So if you give me and say just create, and it's one of those days I wake up on the other side of my bed, you will not even like your brand. So it's important for you to have that at the back of your mind. Because you've pre-planned it, because you've defined it, it's very important that you carry everybody along. So whoever is going to photograph, carry the person along. Let them see it. So I said editing and post-production, basic edit tips to ensure consistency and quality, tools and software recommendations. So this, I'll go to that in our practical. I want us to try like a little practical session. And why I'm going to do that practical to make it a bit hands-on is I'm going to use everything we have available here. Your phones, touchlights on your phones, whatever we have here is just what we're going to try. So it's just for you to understand that, technology has helped. Softwares, in fact, even your, your social media apps, they've got like editing tools within them that you can define it. So I said integrating photos across platform, how to use photographies on websites, social sites, advertisements, and print materials. Now, what I'm trying to say with that is, like I was saying earlier, I talked about consistency. Your brand narrative across all platforms must be consistent. Now, you don't have to use every of those platforms, please. You don't have to use every of those platforms. I'm worse with social media, but at least there's one place once in a while, if I ever go on social media, that you will find me. Instagram. People say, "Oh," I said, "No, listen, it's convenient for me. It doesn't waste my time because I don't even have the time. I put it, I post it, it goes, it's fine." But you must share the same on every platform that you use. There must be that cohesion. So when they find you on your Instagram, it must be consistent with what they find of you on your Twitter. Some people are Twitter warriors. All they do on Twitter is insult people. Then you come to Instagram to come and sell products. Nobody will buy it. In fact, they will just be posting the link. Every time you put insult, they will just post the link of your product under the insult. That's it. That's how market fail. You don't think it's people from your village. No. It's your inconsistency across board. You must do that. The same thing applies to those of us that use LinkedIn. You don't go on LinkedIn and start being a motivational speaker. Leave your product on Instagram. Like, I don't understand. If you want to be a motivational speaker, go and be a motivational speaker across board. You go and motivate people there. And then your product is sitting down here, suffering. Carry it along. Motivate them with your product. Oh, the word for today is everything is green. There's a promise of something looking great. That is why a green shoe is what you should wear every day, so that the land will be green for you. Fantastic. But bring your shoe in. Can't go and tell me the land is green there with text, and then I don't have anything here. So across board, it must be the same. Even your website, the materials. So for those of you who use old school, that use PDF as portfolios to send, it must be the same. The look and feel must be the same across board. It's almost like you carry a bit of yourself across each of those platforms. People must see and say, okay, this is who he is, and this is who he is. A lot of people recently say, when they see the heart, they know me. You have to know me by something. No? See me on Instagram, you see the heart. See me on Twitter, I have the heart. In fact, these days, I don't, even in my house now, once I see a camera, I just say, wait, put the heart. Because we don't know where the picture will go now. People will now see me and they say, who is that guy? It's me. Oh. The heart is there. So you must be consistent across board. So an example is, consistent use of visuals on Instagram, grid, and stories to maintain brand identity. So if yours is stories and all of that, yours is real, please keep it consistent across. If your strength, you found out over time, is creating grid and all that. I think one thing I want to chip in, even though I'm not a social media guru, but what I found out over time is a lot of times, don't get it wrong, there are times you put those things up on social media, and those who do social media here can agree with me. You might not get all of the likes, but when you're consistent with that thing, people know you with that. And trust me, people are seeing you. So when you don't tell the story, people don't see. When you tell the story, trust me, people see. I've had people just reach out and say, I saw a post you did 3-4 years ago. That's why I've come to you. Imagine if those images have been there on my system. No one's going to say it. The same thing applies to those leather products you make, those wrists, those bracelets you make, those belts you make, those hats you make, those bags you make, those shoes you make. Push it out there. I just spoke about Femi handbags from like how many years ago. It's still the same. I think they had an event sometime last year in December, and I was speaking to somebody say, I have to come here and pack, my own Femi handbag. See this bag, I've had it for 9 years. It's still the same. I'm like, madam, yeah? Yes, sir, yes. I've had this for 9 years. And you could say it. So post that thing, post it, share it. And finally I said, be consistent. And I can't say this enough. Consistency is very, very important. Even the days that you're not in the mood, please put yourself in the mood somehow. Be consistent. People are seeing. People are watching. If you're not consistent, people are fickle-minded. The moment they don't see you, out of sight a lot of times is out of mind. When they don't see you, they forget about you. We have like 7-point-something billion people in this world. You are the least of their problem. I'm sorry to say. It's only when you're there, right there in their face, that they remember you. When you're not there, the tendency for them, especially when you live in Nigeria alone, surviving Nigeria from morning to night is a job. Then you are now not putting it in people's face. They will forget you. So yes. Yes, I said thank you. Yes. So quickly for a few minutes before I say the final thank you. I said I'll make this a bit hands-on, and before your questions, we'll do a practical. Then you can ask your questions so that I don't sound like I'm not so intelligent. I'm very intelligent, and ChatGPT is a friend. Anyway, so I'm going to try and make this as easy as possible. I had called my friend Blackmate to just pack something from there and bring whatever. Now, what we're going to do is, I'm sure most of us have phones, right? Now, one of the things I want to be able to prove to us is that it's not just the what's it called? It's not just how sophisticated your setup is. Sophisticated setups are fantastic. It's also about utilizing the most basic things around you. So, please, you want to come this way? I've requested for this tool. When we're doing our Q&A, they'll try and upload those pictures so that we see the result of what everyone creates here. Now, literally everyone will get the chance, the opportunity to. So, what do we have? Okay. Okay, I love this. Okay. Okay. Black, okay. Okay, okay. Let me see. Let me just see all the products we have. I mean, just give me any two colors. Just any two colors. Now, one of the things, so a lot of us understand colors. We already understand, complementary colors and contrasting colors as well, and how to use that to bring. But one of the things I'm going to try and do here is, I'll get like 2-3 volunteers. You come here, you look around this space. We've got our potted plants there that we can move close to get close to this table. We've got white cardboards here. I'll run you through it. We'll create with whatever you have. And any other thing you think you have here, you can bring it up here on this place, and then we'll shoot it together. I'll use the lights from your phones. I'll just direct you how to, angle the lights and all that. And then I'll also emphasize on 1 or 2 things that are very, very important that you look at, when you're creating. So, 3, 4, 2, madam. Come. Okay. Anyone else? Sylvester, let them get this tab off me. Okay. Okay, 4 people should be fine. Madam, you are here. 5. Okay. So, what I want you to do is, you've got your phones here with you. So, what I've said is, the only thing we have here are these 2 basic colors. We've got the black surface, and we've got white papers here. Now, for everything we're creating, this is all we have to use. Now, the only thing that we use to define it is, how do we sell these products that we have here? What are those unique things that each of these products have that we're going to shoot with what we have available? They're going to use their phone, and that's what we're going to display on the screen. So we're starting with this. We're going to use that too. What else? What else do you have? Fantastic. Lovely. Okay, so this is good. So for me, if I was going to sell this, there are a few things I want to sell, even though they are Blackmate's products. First is, define it, and you've told us what this is. So one of the things he's done, which, like I said, is basically using what you have to explain. Now, shooting this looks fine on its own. So if I put it against here, like this, I mean, it looks easy. Some of us will easily identify that, okay, it looks like a purse, it's got a key holder, right? But what if I do this? It tells you more. You already identified that one of the things that can go into this is your card. So that's what we're going to shoot with. But I also feel, as I look through this, beyond the color, I also like this. And I think they're beautiful. You understand? So, when I'm shooting, these are the things I need to put into consideration. So we start with this. And what we're doing with this is creating a continuous stream. Now, bring out your phone. This is our major light source. I love what we're getting from here. There's blue from this light, so we're not going to use. So if you're shooting, I'd rather you stay here so that you can use this light. Now, I'll take this out first. Shoot. Now, because we're shooting two-dimensional, I'd rather you shoot just from the top. Let's start out with that. Now, what you're shooting, I'd rather you do this. Have it flat out. It's easy, it's straight out. So even if you decide to do a cutout, anyway, you place it this way, you place it this way, it's the same. First, clean your glass. Okay, thank you. So if you do this, you have your first picture, right? But there's something else. Now, we said that's the light source there, right? Now look at what it does to this when we bring this close. So the moment we do that, and we do this, see what happens here and here. That will change. Don't worry, you're going to see this on the screen. Now, hold this. The third thing is I want to bring in more light from this angle. So I'm sending that light back here. So now look at what we have. Thank you. Now, you're still bending and tilting your hand. Make it flat this way when you're shooting. Good. This is what has happened. Do you see the change in light? Yes. Now. So what I've done is, in getting in more light, I turn these things to reflectors. So I'm getting all of the light coming from there. That soft light that you're seeing that's lighting up this room from here. I will have used this because there's a light source here, but this is not white light. And I want this to be as clean as possible. So we've gathered all of this light here, and I've used these white papers to just send it back here. And what I've done is, I want to focus on the gold color that this thing has. I want it to be as clean as possible. So all of this light that is coming from here is what I've sent back to the gold. And the same thing I've done with this. And shoot one more time. Great. Another thing I would love to do, beyond the fact that you've shown me that this thing can take card, is I also want to sell the amount of details, the amount of work I put into producing this thing. So if I'm going to shoot that, even if you're doing that, now you're focusing on the details, the threading. Let's do that. I'm going to give you more light. I'll throw in more from here. So shoot. Zoom in now. Use your zoom. Absolutely. A little more. A little more. Now we're focusing on this detail alongside the brand that we're selling. So that's more light for you. Zoom in a little bit more. More. Now pull that back and focus on this threading. Tap the screen. Yes. Lovely. One more. Now another thing you can easily do is, can I have my phone? Yes, just turn on your torchlight. Good. Look at what I've done. I also want this thing to look like it's shimmering. So what I've introduced here is hard light that looks like sunlight. So you can see the reflection of this. So I'm focusing more on this chain that is around here. And I want to see that, okay, it's also reflective. It's like shiny and all that. So let's shoot that again. I'm going to bring a bit more here. And then I pull that. Now what you're doing is you're going to shoot this from above now. Zoom in close. We're focusing on the details. So you pick a bit of this that shows that we sit on the same product with this, like that. Let's go. Zoom in a bit more. Absolutely. Shoot. Lovely. One more. Fantastic. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. Okay, so we're going to display this on the screen, but in the meantime, I'm open to our questions and our answers.
I'm a creative director of Tesacola Empire, Nigeria.
Secular Empire.
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am.
So I want to ask about the product photography. So some time ago, somebody told me that if I'm taking a picture for my product, it's not good for me to take, because normally when I take pictures, I take like maybe 4 angles of it, just like some things that I learned a lot from what you have taught. So the person was saying that no, it's not good to take so many pictures. So I told the person that I'm not just taking pictures. When, for example, the thread, it has to be shown how clean it is and all that. So, but the person was arguing with me because the person is ahead of me in business.
Okay.
So I just want to find out, is he right? Is the person right or no? And also, is it okay to make pictures and videos of same products? Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks. So this is the question. Maybe I'll ask you the question. Since you started taking your multiple pictures, has it worked for you? So if it's worked for you, whatever the person says is what works for the person. So possibly the person has a style that they're used to, that customers buy from. It works. But if for you, your story is around the kind of threading you use, the neatness of how you sew, and all of those, you want to show that, you want to sell that as part of your story. So why not? And then to your second question, whether video, why not videos? Reels are the in thing now, and whatever. So I think it's fair enough for you to use both, as long as it works for you, as long as you can create them and utilize them. I think it's fine. So the question says, what kind of light is best for product shoots? Natural light or artificial light? I think both of them are amazing. It depends on how you can utilize it. What we've done here is we've used a combination of the natural light coming from here. This big curtain that is protecting this sunlight became a soft box. It has softened the light that is coming in here. And then at some point in there, I told them I needed light from their phones. Those are artificial lights. So I tried combining both. Based on the intensity, I felt there won't be too much difference, but it give me like a 3-dimensional feel of my product. That's why I use it. But both are amazing. Light is light. It depends on the mood. It depends on what you're trying to create. It depends on the style you want to go for. So if yours is, you want people to feel your product looks as fresh as agege bread, you can decide to use with natural light. If yours, you want your product's images to look very punchy, you can use pretty hard light. So it all depends on you. It all depends on you. Thanks.
My name is Shehu Fatai, a photojournalist.
Okay, sir.
Please, Kola, I want you to assist me on this particular one. It's two things I want to ask you, but the first one is important.
Okay.
In a situation where I have an image that I want to sell to the public,
Okay.
I don't want to go through social media and other one. Can you give me some sites that I can push my image and I'm able to collect that raw cash in dollars? If you can give me an hour, I can go about it.
Okay.
So please, I want to mention some site for me.
Okay.
That is one. Secondly, you mentioned planning.
Okay.
I agree with you, sir.
Yeah.
Fantastic. In a situation, as a photojournalist, you find yourself in the midst of DSS, SSS, likes, bodyguarding, so-called the governor, and you already have a plan that I'm going to have Sanwo-Olu here, have Ashwaju here, have Obido that way, and then the DSS come. Go away. How do you do that planning in that scenario? Thank you.
Okay, thanks. This is not directly connected to what we've done, but I'll quickly answer you. There are quite a lot of images. VIOU is a platform that just launched by 2 young ladies. They are Nigerians. They just moved back, and it's a fantastic platform. So beyond you being able to sell your images there, is they also get you commissions. They get you jobs, depending on the area you live in Nigeria. Once you click on the map and you register with them, you can also use that site. So it's called VIOU. That's the name of the platform. Shorter stock is there, the popular ones that have made name over time. Getty Images is there. One thing I know is that those two platforms have literally bought out almost every other stock images that existed like years ago, because it's become a competitive, industry. So I think those platforms can help. And then Google can also help you. Google image selling platforms in Africa, image selling platforms that you can sell African images or buy African images, they can also help as well. So I think those platforms, once you register, you can. With that, planning is key. So, I shoot events as well. And I think experience over time has taught me that when you are going to shoot governors and all these dignitaries in Nigeria, have like 14 plans. Plan A is in case they throw you out, even though you have an ID. Plan B is you follow the flow. Plan C is they respect you enough to let you stand right in front of them and decide who does who. Plan D is, okay, bad as a bad. I will take them individually, stitch them up in post-pro if that will work for me and I have the time. So you must have like multiple plans, because what you're saying is that you've gone there with one plan that didn't work and then you're confused. No, you must understand, first is have an idea of what you're shooting. So you can't be spontaneous not to know where you are going. Yes, I know in journalism, photojournalism, they just call you in the morning and say, oh, we've got this, you have to go to this place. But whichever way, over time experience will teach you that you have to have a plan. In fact, one plan you must have is have extra cloth. Because anything can happen to your cloth. Oh no, I can tell you that. Anything can even happen to your camera. So when I shoot with people don't understand, I shoot with 2 cameras, I shoot 3 cameras sometimes. So you must have those backup plans. So I think that sort of answers your question, right? Thank you.
So as an undergrad, I'm exploring all sorts of skills, and over the years I'm a car dealer. I take pictures, and I'm also looking into exploring digital marketing, but the aspect of photography and influencing brands. But do you feel skills are as important as gadgets also? Because I feel some people...
Skills are as important as well?
Gadgets, tools rather.
Okay.
Because, there are some people that are not equipped with the right tools and gadgets, but they have the, skills. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Okay, so you're saying is knowledge as important as the tools, the devices that you use to create those things? Is that what you mean?
Not actually knowledge, but I'm talking about...
Your skill is knowledge, though.
Skills are knowledge, yes, I know. But do you understand what I'm trying to communicate?
I'm a bit confused, but...
Okay.
Are you saying, so take for instance, if I was a photographer, is it important I have a big camera, fine camera, or I know the basics of photography? Is that what it means?
Before we get there, what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to explore the world of photography now. I'm just being exposed to photography. So me as a newcomer or JJC, let me just use that term. So what do you feel I should get into first? Should I just improve my photography skills, or there are some gadgets I can just use to improve myself?
Okay. If you don't mind me asking you one question.
Okay.
If you want to practice law, do you need the knowledge or you need the wig first?
Okay.
You know what you need, Abby?
I know.
Fantastic. Yeah. So with this product, you can see what we've done with that card is we focused on what we've done with the purse, or the card, what do you call it? The card holder, you understand, is we've tried to define everything that particular product has that will make you want to buy it. So we started out with this, with the jewelry that's around it, and we focus on that as details, bringing in this so you can see that there's still a card in it, and then you can see the details of sewing and everything else. So that's the first thing we've done. Another image. So, this is a little bit to the side, but you can actually see that we have the name and we still have the details here. So we wanted to make you see that beyond the whole image itself, there are also other details to it that will actually sell the product. The next one. Then we have the whole card here. So this is what it looks like. Now, this is as good as ready to be put up anywhere. If I want to work with this, I'll just take it in and just adjust few things, take out whatever dust I see. It's as good as whatever. If I'm putting it up on social media, I can extend the background a little. But if you put those three products together, automatically it gives you a sense of what this product is. Right? Would it make you buy it? Would it make you buy it? Good. So that's it. And what we used, we can all testify to it, was just basic paper that we found here and somebody's phone. So what we're saying is what you have can actually create images. So look at what we've done with this. So we've got the leaf. I mean, if I was working in post-production, I'll clean up the leaf a little. I just wanted to put a bit of another shade of that color in. And that's what we have. We focused here on the details of the ashoke. So you can see it, that is made from ashoke. And then you can also see the name of the product in the background. So I think my time is up. I hope I did justice to this conversation.
Absolutely.
But beyond that, conversations like this are not for you to come listen and clap for me, even though I like it when you clap for me anyway. But it's for you to go back and look at those notes you've made and continue to create. Not just create, continue to tell stories. And not just stories, but enduring stories that will make people love and identify your brand. Thank you very much.
Phenomenal. Please a round of applause for Kola Oshalusi, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes,
thank you so much. That was wonderful. We have a presentation for you, please. I want to thank you on behalf of Lagos Leather Fair. I want to give you this for this amazing work you've done with us today. Thank you. Thank you so much. That was wonderful, yes. Practical, yes. You can use it, yes. Not like you leave here and it feels like, what am I going to do with what he said? You can use it, and I love that. Thank you so much, everyone, for being attentive, for being interactive. That was wonderful. Thank you so much, Kola. Thank you. We appreciate that.